Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and this is Made with Books. I come today at you with another tag, and I wasn't tagged but I've seen a lot of people do it and I really like the questions of this tag, and I'm very late on the bandwagon, but I'm still gonna join in anyway. And that is the Postscript 2018 tag. It was created by Adam from Memento Mori, and I will link his original video in the box down below. And I thought I might also link my favorite version I've seen of this down below as well, and that is the one by The Poptimist, and I will link that one below as well. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And yeah, let's just get into it. So the first question is, what was the longest book you read this year and the book that took you the longest to finish? And the longest book I read, well, not this year, but 2018, was Klaus Cäsar Zera, Das Genie, which would translate to The Genius. And this has 656 pages. And there's no English version available of this because it only came out last year in German and it's on the bigger side, so I don't know if it's gonna be translated, but if so it would probably take a while. And this is about William James Sidis, and he was a child prodigy that lived at the beginning of the 20th century, and so this novel is about his life, and he was raised by the Sidis method that his father Boris Sidis came up with, and he was an opponent of Sigmund Freud actually, and at some point just as famous, if not more, so although he has been kind of forgotten nowadays, and that's probably because the method in which he raised his child wasn't the best. But William James Sidis was able to talk at an incredibly early age and really advanced. I think he could have studied at the age of 11. He was finished with school, but he wasn't allowed to, and then he got into Harvard at an incredibly early age, and he eventually dropped out of that scene though, because he had gotten into a position where he was researching some stuff and he didn't realize what it was for, but it was for the purpose of war, and he didn't agree with that. And he was so disappointed, he completely dropped out of academia and just wanted to have a mundane life. And it's fascinating to read about him. It was very fascinating, and he didn't grow very old. I looked it up and there's a biography available on him that is in English, and that is, let me look it up, The Prodigy is what it's called, and it's by Amy Wallace. Now I'm not sure if it's still in print or if you would have to get a second-hand copy, but just in case you're interested to hear more about him or learn more about his life, that would be a way to go about it. I think that is a biography though, so not a novel. But yes, this was interesting to read. And the book that took me the longest was Lifetime, Stories by Nadine Gordimer, and this is a collection of short stories, and I didn't read these all at one point, but I just read them over a longer period of time. I think it actually took me 5.5 months to finish this, because I didn't want to read them all at once and just take them in one by one. So yeah, this was the one that took me the longest. Question number 2 is a book you read in 2018 that was outside of your comfort zone. And for me this would have to be The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. I very rarely read science fiction, and it's this guy coming to this island by accident and all these very weird human-like creatures, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. I ended up really enjoying this. If you're not that much into sci-fi, you just like H.G. Wells already and are looking for your next read by him, I would recommend this. The next question is, how many books did you reread in 2018? And for me that's 3 books. One is a poetry collection by a German author, and there is no English translation available. In case Miriam is watching from Life Between Lines, I hope I'm not butchering your channel name. I'll put it down below as well. That was Kinder der verlorenen Gesellschaft by Saphir Jan. and I enjoyed this. I know her, and yeah, so I'm not gonna go into much detail about it because it's only available in German, but I just wanted to mention it. And then I reread The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde, which was almost like reading it completely new because I read it, I don't know, when I was a teenager last time, so like 15 years ago or something, so I didn't remember a lot of it. And then I also reread Double Indemnity by James M. Cain, and I really enjoyed that one too. Which actually brings me to the next question. What was your favorite reread of 2018? And it's The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde, but Double Indemnity is right behind it. The next question is a book you read for the first time in 2018 that you look forward to rereading in the future. And for me that has to be Katharina Winkler, Blue Jewelry. I mentioned this or talked about this extensively in my Litmus Day 2 video, so I will just link that down below if you're interested in the novel. And then the next question is favorite single short story or novella that you read in 2018, and for me that is by James M. Cain as well. I read this collection. I had read The Postman Always Rings Twice a couple of years back for a seminar, and I also read Double Indemnity back then, and that one I reread like I mentioned. And last year I read Mildred Pierce and the short stories that are collected in here, and I really like The Baby in the Icebox. So it literally has a baby in an icebox in the story, and a tiger, and relationship gone sour, and an attempt to kill the partner, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I really enjoyed that short story, so if you want to check that out. The next question is Mass Appeal, a book you liked and would recommend to a wide variety of readers. And I picked the book and then I looked it up on well, I didn't look it up on Goodreads, but I had looked back on what books I read. And this is actually also the book that was the most popular I read last year, so I think it works very well as a suggestion to a wide audience, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And I think there's so many different like themes in here. It's war, it's coming of age, and it's the story of these sisters, and so I think there's a little bit for everybody in there. So this would be my recommendation for that. I will say though, if you do read German, Dutch, Spanish, Italian or Portuguese or French, I would absolutely recommend Joachim Meyerhoff. This is the third part in a series he's writing, and he's actually an actor and he works at the theatre in Vienna, and he's very successful, and he has a book series that he's currently writing, and part 4 is out already as well, and it's about his life. The first part is about an exchange year he did in the US, I think in Wyoming actually, and the second part is about him growing up on the premises of a psychiatric institution because his father was the chef of the clinic. And this third part is how he got into acting, how he starts drama school and at the same time lives with his super posh grandparents in Munich. And they're all hilarious and wonderful, and if you read any of the languages I mentioned, at least some of the books have been translated into those languages, so definitely check them out. Question number 8 is Specialized Appeal, a book you like but would be hesitant to recommend to just anyone. Gary Young, Another Day in the Death of America, which I think has been on a lot of booktube channels, and it's about gun violence in the US, and Gary Young is a British guy and he looked at one particular day in the US and how many young people died that day because of gun violence or gun ownership. Now I know a lot of people in the US feel that it's important that they have this right to carry a gun with them, and might think that this book discourages that right, or maybe just don't want to read about violence because it's a very hard-hitting book in that sense, because those young people, their lives are cut short, and it's something just some people wouldn't want to read about, something so sad. So I think that is a more specialized appeal, so I would suggest the book for that. Question number 9 is reflect on your year as a bookish content creator. Goals met, good, bad memories, favorite videos you made, etc. Now, I just started my channel towards the end of the year, and the thing I did last year was Litmus, and those were all the videos I put up in 2018. And I'm so grateful to Stripped Cover Lit for doing Litmus, and I really liked that as a start to my channel, but I haven't I haven't done that channel for a year, and so I don't have that many experiences to draw on. I will say I loved my start with BookTube. I loved how welcoming everybody was and still is, and some people very soon tagged me in videos, Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading and Miriam from Life Between Lines, and I will link their channels down below, so thank you for that. And I mentioned I want to do buddy reads in a video, and now I have all these buddy reads lined up because people are super nice here. And what I've also learned, or I mean I have seen it before when just watching BookTube, but the people that are also so important are people who just regularly comment on your videos and are not even content creators themselves, but still take the time out of their day to leave a message, and some of those really long and thoughtful, and so thank you for that as well to those people who don't have a channel but still take the time to comment. So yeah, those are the things I would have to say with regards to that question. Now the last thing is to tag some people to do this Postscript 2018 tag. Now it's already the end of January, so I don't know if anybody still wants to do this tag, and I think a lot of people have done it already. I will tag 3 people just for the hell of it, even though I haven't been tagged, so I'm kind of sneaky that way. But I have some people that I would like to see doing this tag. So I will tag Savri, and her channel name is actually the same. I will tag Miriam from Life Between Lines, and I will tag Kat from Jaguar Catlit. And yeah, if you don't want to do this tag because it's already the end of January, that's fine, I don't mind. But if you want to do it, go ahead. And that's all I have for today, so thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye guys!